Welcome back to ICBI Presents Image Banani hai, the first ever image management show on television. Now that our participants have gone through a few sessions on lifestyle, personal colors and body shape, today they will be undergoing a group session on body language. Body language is considered to be one of the most important aspects in visual communication. Prachi Mishra, one of our expert image consultants, will take these participants through this group session.
Hello, my name is Prachi Mishra and I'm an image consultant. I'm here to talk on body language, what we also call the non-verbal communication. Body language is so powerful and important, but there are times we don't even realize it. Let's begin our session with this very interesting quote which says, "What you do speaks so loud that I cannot hear what you say." Now I want all of you to follow my instructions and do as I do. Can we all begin? Yes. Okay. So clap your hands, touch your cheek, touch your head, touch your ear, touch your nose. How many of you have got your nose here? Okay. That gets us back to this quote, which tells us, what you do, I trust more than what you say. There was another interesting research which tells us that human beings actually speak for about 10 to 11 minutes in a day, and each sentence takes 2.5 seconds. However, we can make and recognize around 250,000 facial expressions. Now we are going to look at the different things that make body language and non-verbal communication. And the first thing that I want to start with is called territory and zones. Now if you look at this, all of us move around with 4 layers around us. It's like bubbles around us. The first is called the intimate space, the second is called the personal space, the third bubble is called the social space, and the last one is called the public space. Okay. Now may I request Ganesh to please come here. So how are you doing, Ganesh?
I'm fine, how are you?
And how are you doing today?
Great, I'm okay.
Great?
Yeah.
Are you still comfortable?
Not very much.
Okay, so how does it make you feel?
Uncomfortable and I feel threatened.
Threatened?
Yeah.
So did you see that? Thank you, Ganesh.
My pleasure.
Now what was I really doing? I was encroaching into his personal space, and that is the reason he felt threatened and he felt uncomfortable, and he had to move behind to get more space.
Body language plays a very vital role in projecting the right image, and hence, they experienced a very detailed session which included role plays and several other activities to absorb and adapt the science of body language.
Now let's look at the correct way of doing a handshake. So may I request Ganesh, you to come here. So there are a couple of rules that you need to keep in mind when you handshake with somebody. Rule number 1, make eye contact with the person. Rule number 2, your hand should be parallel to the floor, okay? And your thumb should be at right angle to the rest of the fingers, at a relaxed right angle. Don't stretch it like this. Let it be at a relaxed right angle. Rule number 3, this part of your hand is called the web, and that should touch the web of the other person, okay? And when we do that, we must make eye contact and smile. The number of pumps that you make is 2 or 3, and the pressure that you exert is the pressure that you receive. Okay? So don't do a bone crusher handshake, nor do a limp handshake. Thank you so much, Ganesh. Remember these checklists when you meet anybody next time, and it's really going to help you. I would like to conclude this session with the same quote we began our day with, which says, "What you do speaks so loud that I cannot hear what you say." Thank you everybody for your participation. Today's session was about body language. I was here to talk to them about effective body language.
So in this session, I actually learnt about how important body language is.
As a trainer, मैं इस वजह से बहुत सारे impact डाल सकूँगा अपनी training propositions में.
I have learned that how one should do a handshake, and also I have learned that a lot of gestures while you do when you're sitting or when you're listening to somebody's presentation and all, it makes a lot of difference.
Now let's look at an easy way to decode this fancy looking table. So B, which stands for bread, will be on your extreme left. And finally, wine or water would be placed on the right.
Come on everybody, Image Banani.
Now that the participants have undergone a session on body language, they can very well understand and manage their own body language as well as interpret and read the body language of others. We now move to another important segment of image management called the dining etiquette.
So welcome to this session on dining etiquette. For most of us, when we look at a table like this, it can be quite intimidating. It's extremely confusing. We do not understand which spoon to use for which meal. Where do I really start having my meal from? So now let's look at an easy way to decode this fancy looking table. So B, which stands for bread, will be on your extreme left. So your bread plate would be on your left. The M, which is your meal or your main course, would be in the center. And finally, wine or water would be placed on the right. Something that everyone can remember, right? Sure. Okay. So many forks and spoons, knife, chopstick, what am I really supposed to do? Another strategy is to start using your cutlery from outside inwards. So, you know what's a 7-course meal, a 5-course meal, you will have different things being served to you. Start using the cutlery which is on the extreme and move your way slowly inside with each course. So let's see what's the right way of holding. Okay, because even for you to be eating it in the right way, you need to hold it in the right way. It's like you place your index finger and your knife would be slanting even while you're eating. It'll never be like this, because that is the way you can cut your meat or salad or whatever it is. Similarly, the fork, you will hold it right here, your index finger, and it will be facing down always when it's on your left hand. So you may, press it into a piece of salad, cut it out, and put it into your mouth this way. It's not supposed to go in like this. Okay, can I please see you try that? It's always slanting. Never try to break your food like this. That would never happen. When you do it this way, it can cut your food easily. Soup is actually eaten and it's not something that people drink, okay? That is the first step. A soup spoon would usually be more rounded because obviously the soup being liquid, that's where you can get something like this. The right way to hold a soup spoon is like this. So please. You put it into your bowl. Tick it slightly on the other side. Even if there is a slight sound, that is acceptable. And bring it to you. You cannot go near your food. Your food has to come to you. I've seen a lot of people, as soon as they get soup or any kind of food, they start adding seasoning, maybe salt, pepper, different kind of sauces. This will be considered as a huge insult, be it a restaurant or even when you're going to someone's house, because this shows that you don't really like the food that's there, or it's not up to your taste. So only once you taste the food, if you still feel that the seasoning is less, you may add it. So now may I please request you to pick up a piece of bread and place it onto your bread plate. Using the butter knife, yes, please take a small quantity of butter from the butter bowl. Place it on the edge of your bread plate. With your fingers, break a bite-sized piece of bread. Please apply some butter using the butter knife. One of the trickiest foods to eat is the Italian spaghetti. So in a restaurant, if you have the option of placing an order, always opt for a penne or a macaroni instead of a spaghetti. No matter how neatly you try to eat, yes, it's quite tricky sometimes. Italian food, you may hold the fork on your right hand, this way, and the spoon can be held on the left. When spaghetti is served in a bowl, you may use a fork and a spoon. Place it into your bowl and twirl the spaghetti a number of times using the spoon for support, and then take it close to your mouth. Now that we've had some insights into a dining etiquette, I hope you all had something new to learn today. And next time when you have to eat, you'll follow all these rules and etiquette that we discussed today. Here's wishing you all the best, and I hope you've enjoyed this session.
Sure. Thank you so much.
The session that we had today with the 5 participants was on dining etiquette. In today's day and world, it's very important to practice the right kind of etiquette even when you're dining.
Now the next time when I accompany my husband for his lunch and dinners, I know what are the right things to be done.
The dining etiquette session for me has proved to be very vital. Number one, for the reason that I'll be going and meeting a lot of corporate and the CEOs and VPs of organizations. So they will be checking up with my first impression, and the first impression first and foremost would be created at the table across.
Now I can save myself because I have the information at hand. I can utilize it and save myself from embarrassment.
Dining etiquette is important for each and every one of us in personal, professional and social life.
Today we're going to do face shape evaluation.
Okay.
And face shape evaluation is basically a science of measuring the actual face shape based on your bone structure.
Come on, everybody, Image Banani.
Welcome back to ICBI Presents Image Banani Hair. Knowing your face shape is extremely important to select the right hairstyles, makeup, necklines and accessories. It is very important for our participants to know the difference between being dressed and being well dressed. Our image consultants Bindu Mukherjee and Vibinta Verma will take our participants through the entire process of face shape evaluation.
So Ganesh, now we're going to analyze your facial characteristics. So let's go step by step and find out what are the different kinds of face shapes that exist in people. So there are basically 9 face shapes, out of which 3 are considered to be rounded face shapes, and there are 6 angular face shapes.
Okay.
So we have what is called an oval face, where the oval face is slightly longer than it's wider. It's 1.5 times in length as compared to the width of the face. This is considered the ideal face shape, and it's softly rounded. So the forehead will be narrow and the jaw will be flatter and heavier at the bottom and wider. But not everybody has a typical characteristic where you can say you will have one of these faces. So what we do is we call something called a combination face shape.
Okay.
Where you have a face shape which is combined with all the different features, and you cannot be stereotypically categorized into one face shape. So now let's talk about your face shape. Your face shape is what we call a square face. So your face is as wide as it is long, and it's an angular face. In a square face, to bring it as close to ideal as possible, I would recommend you that you need to have a hairstyle probably which gives you more volume on top. That will help create the length that is required on the face. Now that we've identified your face shape, let's go ahead and analyze your facial characteristics.
Okay.
So I just concluded the face shape evaluation session with Ganesh. It was a very interesting session because he himself is a trainer and he was very interested in figuring out how to portray the right kind of image.
This session has helped me a lot to understand my characteristics of the face shape and help myself to groom.
Today we're going to do face shape evaluation.
Okay.
And face shape evaluation is basically a science of measuring the actual face shape based on your bone structure.
Okay.
So let me illustrate this on the dummy first.
Okay.
So let's consider her face shape. This is very important because we decide our hairstyles, our necklines, our jewelry, even makeup, where to focus, the dominant points, the subordinate points. Everything is based on something as simple as what people think is the face shape. It's really a very important aspect we have to understand. So let's look at this face shape. Consider the following things before you evaluate your face shape. Okay. The first thing you have to look is at the width. Is the face wider than average or is it narrower than average? Then you look at the length. Is it longer than average or is it shorter than average? Then you look which are the three, amongst these three facial features, which is the widest part? Is it the forehead? Is it the cheekbones? Or is it the jawline?
Okay.
Then you compare the forehead with the jawline. And finally, you describe the jawline. Is it rounded? Is it square, angular? Is it more pointed, curved? So you describe that. Then you can approximately arrive at the face shape. Now, since we have done with your face shape evaluation, are you interested in knowing what your face shape is?
Yes, sure.
It's a very interesting face shape. You have a length of, I've got the statistics here. Your length is 7 and your width is also almost 7, which will qualify you for something like this, like a round face shape. But you have very dominant features of a diamond. You have a narrow forehead, you have very prominent cheekbones, and your chin is quite rounded. So you are a very interesting combination of a diamond from the top and for a circle right to the ear, from the chin to the ear point. So when you're countering your necklines, you'll have to work for angles for your necklines, and for hairstyles, you'll have to go for more volume to give width to the narrowness. That's what you work at. So this is the countering techniques for a round. So you'll have to follow these from ear downwards, and you'll have to follow these countering techniques ear upwards. Okay?
Got it.
As per my recommendation, I think you need to give more volume and height to your face, because I feel your face is slightly smaller in proportion to your body. Now, since you've decided on your hairstyle, you have to decide on your clothes neck. Do not follow trends. So since your lower half is more rounded, you would like to go for more angles like this. These kind of angles will take the balance downwards. It'll give you more vertical balance, which you require in the lower half. So anything like the squares, V's, halters, or anything which takes the focus down, button down styles, or even a lapel, like peaked lapel, like what I'm wearing, an asymmetrical style, I would highly recommend this for you, because you have a lot of angles going upwards for you. Okay? So these will work, will complement and repeat those angles in your body. So it's going to really work for you off one shoulder, asymmetrical dresses. The next you should avoid is a cowl or a round drape or a jewel neck or a scoop neck, because these are going to just repeat your round face shape, which we are trying so hard to counter. So you very highly avoidable. Any drapes and cowls and things like that. Okay? Every face shape is unique. It's a work of art, and the right frame will make it shine. Knowing your face shape is a must.
After Bindu told me that my cheekbones and the cleft in the chin are the positive sides, now I'm looking forward to enhance them more in my facial feature.
In this episode, the participants have gone through body language, dining etiquette, as well as face shape evaluation. They've become far more aware of the elements for managing their image. In the last and final episode of ICBI Presents Image Banani Hai, the participants will go through complete sessions on makeup and grooming to add the final touch. They will also be implementing all components of image management which they have learned over last 4 days.
Come on everybody, Image Banani.